ferido.
Ah, mas não me feri, eu tô aqui.
O jeito vai ser repetir pra ele o que eu já disse. Já tô fazendo a minha mala, escolhendo meus melhores lookinhos de inverno.
Isso que você vai descobrir já já. Agora, sim não. Só queria te
De serra, de ar puro e de frio.
Yes,
E
yes,
de
yes. So
chá.
I have already done a part 1, so this will be a following part 2. So if you guys don't know, it's actually called Três Graças. It is a Brazilian telenovela. And the two young women meet early in the series and develop a bond, with Juquinha often being more out, while Lorena initially struggles with her identity and family relationships, especially when it comes to her father. So yes, before we get into part 2, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your opinion down below in the comments. Moving forward to part 2, you can basically see that where I left it off is where Lorena's father actually ends up going to the hospital because of an attack he had, while they were having a big argument at a family dinner where, Lorena officially introduced Juquinha, as her partner. If you guys don't know, just to sum things up very quick, Lorena's father is against her dating women. And not only that, her brother also has his own situation going on with his partner as well, that his father is also not very happy about. So you can basically see that in this case, Juquinha goes to the hospital to support Lorena, to tell her, hey, I get you are upset, your father don't want us to be together, but at the end of the day, it's still your father. And you can just basically see that in this case, Lorena, she was very heartbroken because, for the fact that her father doesn't want to accept who she is and who she loves. But moving forward, later on, it looks like her father got, safely discharged from the hospital. And then, they were having dinner, the two ladies together. And that is where, Lorena told Juquinha, hey, my father is losing his memory. He don't remember anything that happened that night at the dinner. So I don't really think he remembered, the whole conversation and everything that went down. So there was something you can basically just say that Lorena is still struggling with, getting her father on board and accepting who she really is. But on the other hand, we can also see that the bond of the two ladies are just getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And, as time goes by, you can definitely see that they're just falling in love more and more with each other. And there's also another part where they showcase that, Lorena, she's very, worried about Juquinha. If you guys don't know Juquinha, she's actually a police officer. And, in this case, Lorena, she's always worried when Juquinha goes out on missions because she doesn't know if she's going to make a return. And the fact that, Juquinha, she's so, how open to speak about the situations that she goes through as a police officer, it definitely scares Lorena a lot because she doesn't want to lose her. But you can definitely just see them dating more, going on dates more, having more conversations about possibly getting married. In this case, you can basically see that Lorena, was basically giving Juquinha hints that she wants to get married. And obviously, Juquinha is so in love with her that, if it depended on her, they would have already been married. But obviously, it takes time, it takes preparation, and they want to do things correctly. So that's definitely where they are at. But one thing I have to say is that this couple is definitely my favorite couple currently, guys. Like I'm telling you, the chemistry, the way they speak to each other, the way they talk to each other, the way they interact with each other, they're so soft, they're so patient, they're so understanding towards one another is so, so amazing. So now moving forward, you can also see that, Lorena's father once again got into a situation, an accident that lead him into the hospital. And now he has to face other situations as well. And now Joaquina and is basically preparing like a getaway for them just to go, for her not to work, Lorena to get her mind off out of all, of things. So they have decided to go to Joaquina's, family house. If you guys don't know, Joaquina, she also comes from a very wealthy family. So they decide to go to this house just to spend quality time together, away from everything, and just enjoying quality time. So when they get there, they're super romantic, everything looking good, they are doing activities together, they're bonding, they're talking, and they're just speaking about a lot of things. So yes, there's also one thing I wanted to speak about. So at that very moment, while they were, at the house, at the getaway, at the romantic getaway, you can just see that, Shukinga told Lorena, hey, let's get married. She basically asked her to marry her, and you can just see Juquinha was, in this case Lorena, she was so happy, and obviously she said yes. So it looks like the couple is engaged now. The good part will come is when, in this case, Lorena's father actually ends up finding out that they are engaged. That will be a whole different, topic that we will have to see how that will play out, because he will definitely not be happy, because like I said, he's also facing another health issue now, and now finding out that his daughter is getting married to another woman, a woman that he doesn't want her to be with, or in general, he just don't want her to be with women. So that's also gonna bring another dynamic to their relationship. But on the other hand, they were actually, prior to the proposal, they were actually, followed by, this journalists, and the journalists were taking photos of them, pictures of them, and when, in this case, Juquinha caught the photographer, or in this case the journalist taking photos of them, they have decided not to take action. They spoke to the guy, they had like a whole conversation, and they have decided to go public. So there's also another thing that we have to say, is that they are a public couple. Both of them come from very wealthy families, one a little bit more in the spotlight. In this case, when it comes to Lorena's father, he's a very well-known businessman. He's very well known for his business and everything that he has going on. So yes, they are a public couple, they are engaged, they are super, super, hyper, mega in love with one another. They connect very well. They want to be together. Obviously, Lorena's father is the big issue, that why their relationship, might be in risk. But I do feel like in this case, Lorena's mind is very well made up, and she's very much in love with Juquinha. So I don't see her father interrupting anything anymore. I feel like, on the other hand, her mother is very supportive towards her. She accepts her, she loves her. She already knew, she was just waiting for her to tell her. On the other hand, Juquinha's family already knows about her since she was very young. So there's not a problem for her. They are very accepted towards her. Basically, they support her. It's very, very, very different from, Lorena's situation. So yes, this is so far what I can get, when it comes to part two of their relationship. So far, everything is looking good. So far, everything is going very, very positively. And now I will just have to see what will happen on part three. So where I left it off, they're basically on the getaway, they are engaged, they are in love. And now obviously, when everything, is over, when this whole getaway is over, they will have to go home, and Lorena, she will have to break the news to her father about her engagement. And that will be a whole situation that I am excited to see how that will play out. If you guys don't know, Lorena, she basically moved out of her parents' house because her father kicked her out, once he found out about, her and Joaquin's relationship. So yes, it's gonna be a very, very complicated conversation that, they will have to have. And it's definitely is part of what I already know how her father is. I can see him not taking it very lightly or very well. But obviously, one thing I have to say is that Joaquina, she's very, very alpha. Like, she's very strong. Like, she's a police officer. She has a very strong character. When she wants something, she wants something. She goes after it. Like, it's something. I feel like they are very opposite, and they just match each other's energies so well. So, guys, if you guys don't know, it's a Brazilian telenovela, but you guys can watch clips of their relationships on YouTube. So go ahead, go watch, go support, because let me tell you, it's 100 trillion% worth the watch. And I've been enjoying every single moment of this series, of this telenovela soap opera in this case. So yes, guys, that is basically it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your opinion down below in the comments, because like I always say, it does matter. Until the next video, and goodbye.